A city under siege, Al-Shabaab's resurgence in Mogadishu. Mogadishu, the Somali capital, once again became a terrifying spectacle of violence. Al-Shabaab, the notorious Al-Qaeda affiliate, launched a brazen attack. The target was the CL Hotel, a location frequented by government officials and a symbol of Somali resilience. This attack underscored the persistent threat Al-Shabaab poses, not just to Somalia, but to regional and global security. It served as a grim reminder of the group's ability to penetrate supposedly secure zones and inflict terror. The world watched as a familiar narrative unfolded: carnage, fear, and the unsettling knowledge that this was unlikely to be the last such incident. The Sil Hotel attack was not an isolated incident. It was part of a larger pattern of escalating violence orchestrated by Al-Shabaab. This group, which once controlled large swaths of Somalia, has proven adept at adapting to counterterrorism efforts. Despite facing pressure from the Somali government and its international allies, Al-Shabaab continues to launch high-profile attacks. Each assault serves as a stark reminder of the group's resilience and its capacity to sow chaos and instability. Unmasking Al-Shabaab origins, ideology, and global terror. To understand the threat of Al-Shabaab, one must delve into its origins. The group emerged in the early 2000s amidst the chaos of Somalia's civil war. It started as the radical youth wing of the Islamic Courts Union, which briefly controlled much of southern Somalia. However, Al-Shabaab's ambitions quickly grew beyond establishing an Islamic state in Somalia. They embraced a violent extremist ideology that resonated with Al-Qaeda's global jihadist agenda. Al-Shabaab's ideology is a toxic mix of Salafism, Somali nationalism, and anti-Western sentiment. The group seeks to overthrow the Somali government, which it considers apostate, and implement its own harsh interpretation of Islamic law. Al-Shabaab's reign of terror has been marked by brutal punishments, assassinations, and the suppression of basic freedoms. Their attacks have targeted not only government and military installations but also civilians, including women and children.
The attack on the Swile Hotel began with a loud explosion. A suicide car bomber detonated his explosives at the entrance, creating chaos and fear.
The Sil Hotel attack followed a familiar script for Al-Shabaab. It began with a suicide car bomber detonating his explosives at the hotel's entrance, creating a path for heavily armed militants to storm the building. Security forces responded swiftly, engaging in a fierce firefight with the attackers. The ensuing siege lasted for hours, with sporadic gunfire and explosions echoing throughout the city.
When the dust settled, the human cost of the attack became tragically clear. At least 5 people, including security personnel, lost their lives. Scores more were injured. The attack sent shockwaves through Mogadishu, reminding us all of the ever-present threat of terrorism. The Somali government vowed to hunt down those responsible and strengthen security measures.
The hotel, a symbol of hope and progress, lay in ruins. The attack sent shockwaves through Mogadishu, reminding its residents of the ever-present threat of terrorism. The Somali government vowed to hunt down those responsible and strengthen security measures. The Phoenix Factor: Al-Shabaab's resilience in the face of pressure. Despite facing a multi-pronged offensive, Al-Shabaab has shown a remarkable ability to adapt and survive.
The group has proven adept at exploiting the very conditions that gave rise to it: weak governance, poverty, and porous borders. Al-Shabaab continues to recruit new members, often through coercion and indoctrination, particularly in rural areas where its influence remains strong.
Al-Shabaab's resilience is also due in part to its sophisticated financing mechanisms. The group generates revenue through extortion, taxation, and illicit activities such as charcoal smuggling.
It has also been known to receive funding from external actors with their own agendas. This access to resources allows Al-Shabaab to maintain its operational capabilities and weather military setbacks.
International entanglements, drones, geopolitics, and the Somali crisis. The fight against Al-Shabaab is not confined to Somali borders. It is intertwined with complex geopolitical dynamics and the involvement of international actors.
The United States, for example, has conducted numerous drone strikes targeting Al-Shabaab leaders and operatives. While these strikes have had some success in disrupting the group's activities, they have also raised concerns about civilian casualties and the potential for blowback.
Turkey, another key player in Somalia, has provided military aid and training to the Somali government. However, the use of Turkish-made drones in the fight against al-Shabaab has sparked controversy.
Amnesty International has called for an investigation into allegations that Turkish drones were involved in strikes that killed civilians. The incident highlights the difficult balancing act between combating terrorism and protecting human rights.
The human cost, civilian casualties, and the cry for justice. The true cost of al-Shabaab's reign of terror is measured in human lives shattered and communities torn apart.
The group's indiscriminate violence has claimed the lives of thousands of Somali civilians, often in the most brutal fashion. The Swahil Hotel attack was a stark reminder that even in the heart of the capital, nowhere is safe from al-Shabaab's reach.
The international community must prioritize the protection of civilians caught in the crossfire. This includes providing humanitarian assistance to those displaced by the conflict and supporting initiatives aimed at countering violent extremism.
Accountability for crimes committed by all sides, including al-Shabaab and government forces, is crucial for achieving lasting peace and justice in Somalia.